Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Player Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys today about, well, 6 personality traits, or you can call it 6 the kind of social kind of sexual hierarchies. Talking about the alpha, the omega, the beta, the delta, and also as well the sigma type males and females. Guys, if you're on this channel, make sure you do like, you share, you subscribe this kind of content, and you're going to see more of this stuff as well. But if you are returnees, you already know what we got to say. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Let that fill your ears. You understand? Listen, don't forget as well, grab your merchandise as well. And today, you know what? I ain't going to lie, I'm not sponsored, but I need some of these sweets, okay, so we can start this properly, yeah? All right, cool. Listen, we're talking about, you guys have requested, because you keep hearing me talk about sigma, alpha male. And so I wanted to break it a bit more down. So let me be very frank and honest with you. There are so many different schools of thought in terms of the different types of personality traits or sexual hierarchy in a sense, right? And so I want to just break it down. The first one's alpha male, okay? I think everyone knows that alpha male is your Brad Pitt type of guy. You know, it's your main character. He is flamboyant. He is energetic. He is the leader of the pack. We'll deal with that in a second. He's got a great physique normally, facially unmatched, super confident, extroverted. You know, people are amazed by the qualities of that person. They got a magnetic personality. They come into the room, everybody sees them, everybody stops, everybody is aware of this person now coming in. It's something that is also it's something that is ingrained in your nurture, but also in your nature. So something that's trained, but also something that is also, it's something that's in you. Like if you see a physically dominant man come into a room, yes, he can work that physique, but if he's got height already and he's got a stature, that's nature playing its course. You know what I mean? And so your alpha males, oftentimes, you know, they require a system though. This is the difference between alpha males and I think anyone else. Alpha males benefit when they have a system. So when there is a system of social hierarchy, which is in most cases, wherever you go in life, there's going to be some social hierarchy. The male will benefit, the alpha male will benefit because he always ranks at the top. He's either the fastest, strongest, most good-looking kind of person in that arena, and sexually in the hierarchy, he always wins. He doesn't have to chase after women, they chase after him. He's got something about him that ladies want, right? And one of the greatest qualities of an alpha male is their ability to lead. Whether it's leading the right way or the wrong way, whichever you want to call it, wherever they go to, they lead. Okay, and they just have that natural knack to pull people in and get them surrounded around them to do what they want them to do. Everybody knows an alpha type of male. And also as well, when women do often cheat, I say often, that word often, I should probably change it. When women do cheat, not all of them, a lot of them do cheat with an alpha male. It's something about that male that naturally, biologically, women will want to procreate. And it links in with the idea of the 80-20, which is that most women want to date the 20% male, right? There's a top percentage of males who are physically dominant, financially secure, resources, power, status, everything like that. Women want to procreate naturally in the biological with those type of males, okay? This is a thing that is based in biology and the nature of us, but it isn't the nurture. I want to make that very, very clear, because what we're talking about now is nature and nurture. This is the base core animalistic instinct of us, which we all listen to from time to time. But because we are human beings, we have the ability to go beyond that and look into reasoning, logic, emotions, etc., etc. But if we're looking on a natural instinct basis, the alpha male is often desirable. We had the alpha female, you know, your Angelina Jolie. It's probably why Brad Pitt and Angelina probably didn't work out in the end. That's why the Mr. and Mrs. Smith film is a powerful representative of when an alpha male meets an alpha female. It looks good. It really does. It really is good. But you will kill each other, because what happens is the alpha female it's not tameable by the alpha male. And the alpha male doesn't want to have to tame the alpha female. It sounds good. But remember, she's a leader of her own pack. So whenever they encounter, they go into clash heads, because she's not going to be tamed by you. She's not going to fear you. She's not going to surrender to you. You understand? Like, she's a leader in her own right. She's confident, she's charming, unafraid of a challenge. She is the rock star, if you want to call it. She is the star in her group, you know, and amongst her friends. Guys easily gravitate towards her. In fact, when you see in movies that girl with the flowing hair, she walks down the corridor, she's the buffest thing since sliced bread, yeah? And always there's some guy that's wanting her, never gets her, right? And so, you know, in a relationship, she's assertive. She's able to tell you, listen, this is what I want. Don't play with me. This is what it is, baby. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? She'll tell you, listen, ABC, listen, that's how I want it done. If it doesn't get done like that, we're going to have problems. Yeah. You know, they can be very, very strong-minded in when they want to do something. But they're very much concerned as well about their strong personal, public image. They want to make sure they maintain that reputable image, you know, as well. They don't like that being tarnished and broken. She often presents an image of not needing a man. She's independent. You understand? She's independent. You get me? But she can come across bossy, aggressive, and competitive. But she's willing to make the first move on a male as well. So alpha male, alpha female sounds good. Doesn't often work that way. In fact, they often end up dating the betas, right? The alpha females often date beta males. Why? Because the beta male is often the sidekick. The beta male is a loyal friend who will always support the alpha male. They are part of the propagating of the social hierarchy. Your beta male is your loyal B worker. Okay, they never want to be the lead. They don't mind being the backup singer. You understand? They don't mind being a backup dancer. They don't mind being a part of the team that helps the star go. You know, if you look at a football team, American football or football, you know, you have the star quarterback or the, you know what I'm saying, like kind of star player on your team, right? And then you have the other workers who are B workers. They're not necessarily anything exceptional. There's nothing particularly outstanding or amazing about them. They just do a good, solid job, okay? And every team needs that kind of individual, right? You need loads of them because so that the star can shine at its greatest. Hence why I said to you, the alpha male requires a system. The system makes him look good. The system makes him look good because in that system, he's an alpha male. I want to make this very clear as well. These are dependent upon the pools that you're in. Some alpha males are alpha males wherever they go, but there are some alpha males who are only alpha because of the town that they're in, the city that they're in, the pool that they're in, the pond that they're in, the waters that they are in. And when they get into other waters, they're not so much an alpha in that respect. Do you know what I'm saying? It just depends. But beaters often make very good husbands because they're steady Eddie. They don't rock the boat, you know what I'm saying? They don't do anything crazy. They are, as I said, they're loyal, and they can have a habit of putting their women on a pedestal a little bit. But they're good natured. They are humble in the respect. They don't want to shine, you know what I'm saying? And they're responsible. You know that good worker at your workplace. That good worker that don't break no rules, does as he's told to do, gets on with the job, turns up on time, leaves on time, will stay extra if he needs to, if he's asked to, you know what I'm saying? That good guy, yeah? It's often, the beaters are often that nice guy. And oftentimes when you see, like for instance, if you see some films where the bad guy, yeah, the bad people, the bad group or whatever, you have the alpha male who's just an absolute nonce, and then you have the person who's beside him who is not as smart sometimes, but it's like the friend of that guy. That's the beater, you know what I'm saying? Like that can be that's the flip side of it as well. But yeah, beaters don't often have the confidence to take up the lead. They want to support the role, right? So they make really good support links. Often can be overlooked and ignored for promotions and stuff like that because, again, they don't shine bright like a diamond. Do you understand? They often make others shine who are like a diamond. You get what I'm saying? But like I said, they're a loyal friend. Beta females. They don't get as many guys as their alpha females. But they aren't dominating, and so what happens is they make for very successful partners to alpha males, similar to alpha females, because they're not willing to take the shine. They're not going to fight you for the spotlight. They want to support you in that basis. Okay, they are good friends. They are trustworthy. They never steal the shine, and they are agreeable in character. Okay, and unfortunately, because they're so agreeable, they can get used. Yeah, clueless. Is it clueless? Whatever. You know, you have the main female who's like like I always say, the main female who's a nonce, and then you have the friend who always listens to everything that she says and agrees with everything she says, right? She doesn't have her own mind. She doesn't have her own mind. Do you understand? Her mind is only for the friend who's a star. That is what we're talking about, beta female. She's willing to take anything because she wants to be agreeable. She doesn't want an argument. She wants to support you in every single basis, but then gets used by that friend because they're agreeable to everything. Okay? They will sacrifice everything for that friend, but they won't see it in return. Okay, their whole ethos is to sacrifice themselves to satisfy others so that others can shine. Right? They have an empathetic nature, end up being used by narcissists, and sometimes they can lack confidence and often need a confidence boost. Yeah, and so that is, in films when you see, like, for instance, let's say like a film, right? You have the alpha female who this nerdy guy really likes, yeah, and he's never gonna get a look in, and he's got a best friend that's a female, right? And she's like, cool kind of girl, but he never looks at her like that. We're just friends, bro, right? And then he finally eventually gets a chance with the alpha female. She's not what he wants. Then he realizes the best friend beside him is a great beta friend. It's actually a great partner. That's how it happens. Gamma males. Gamma males are often shy. Gamma males are often shy guys. They lack persistence to achieve their dreams. They have a failure to execute good vision. So they can see well, but they can't execute. They're dreamers, okay? They are the yes man who takes on too much on their plate. They will say yes to everything, but they never do anything. They have dreams galore, but never do anything, right? They have the imagination to take them far, but don't have the drive to actually knock it out, right? So the gammas often keep thoughts to themselves and opinions to oneself because they sit on the fence a lot, right? They don't want to fall on either side. They are neutral positioned. They can be clingy a little bit when it comes to relying on their partner because, again, they don't execute. And they can sometimes get cheated on quite a bit because they get taken advantage of because they neither sit on any particular fence. They're neutral all the time and they don't execute. And one of the things about women is that they love a man that can execute and assert himself. Gammas won't do that. They lack confidence, okay? They're the shy guy. Now, I know that song says, a shy guy who will always be mine. That's lovely in a song, innit? But when it comes to real life, yeah, the shy guy, yeah, as ladies have found out, can also be, there's no perfect formula out here for the guy. Like, we're not talking about the shy, there's a shy guy, and there's a shy guy that is just not assertive at all, right? He just is neutral, yeah? And that, when you get older, ain't cute. It ain't cute. Gamma women love to be chased and caught. They are the woo meister. They like to be wooed. You know what I'm saying? They've always got this great idea of of this kind of wedding where it's glamorous and amazing, etc., right? They like that woo kind of thing. They're not necessarily dominating, but because of the fact they like to be wooed, it takes a certain type of guy to go after them. Gammas can also be very much attracted to alpha males because of the way that they are able to chase and hunt them. A gamma woman will know her worth and and knows what kind of man that she wants to take her time, which is why I said about the alpha oftentimes can come across a gamma. She's goal orientated and never likes to waste her time. So if that's the kind of person you want, think about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't go back about it too much. All right, Omegas, Omegas are your socially awkward people, okay? Omegas are, and this is debatable because sometimes some people say it's Omega, some people say it's Delta, but irrespective, just know that obviously once you do your research, you'll find out. But Omegas often can be defined as socially awkward, okay? They're lacking in social skills. You know the ones, the geeks and nerds that collect in their own group, yeah? Them ones in the films where you see them like, they collect in their own groups where, they play their games, they do their Harry Potter thing, they do their Star Trek thing, they do their chess club thing and them things there, yeah? And they have their own crew. Yeah, that's your Omegas. Yeah, your Omegas who are a bit of geeks and nerds. No, I don't think anything's wrong with them. I love the geeks and the nerds, man. I learn a lot from them. Their interactions are very specific and can sometimes be outside of the knowledge of public popular trivia. So what I mean by that is popular culture. So for instance, let's say Star Trek. We all know Star Trek, but how much do you know about Star Trek? Yes, I may say Star Trek, I may say Klingon, that'll be it. But they will go one step further and say Star Trek, Klingon, and then start talking to you in Klingon because they understand the language of Klingon. Don't know how they do that, but they know it. You might talk about Harry Potter and talk about Hermione and Granger and da-da-da, but they're the ones that will answer every single question. They're the ones that go on mastermind, basically, yeah? That answer the question in its deepest thought. You're asking yourself, I didn't remember that part of the film. And they were like, yeah, that's in the books. They're the ones that will tell you, listen, that was in the books and that wasn't in the film. They're that kind of person, right? That kind of guy. They're often physically undesirable, but until they become rich. So you've got the guy who's a nerd, technician, whatever, finds Facebook. No offense, I'm not saying that's actually him, just kind of giving an example. Let's say he defines by Facebook now, he's rich, money's got galore, he's no longer that particular nerd, but he's still socially awkward. And with that, okay, he's confused by women. He's still getting women because of his status is elevated, but he's still confused by them. He doesn't fully understand the mechanics or the mechanisms of these women, okay? And they always end up desiring alpha females. They end up always getting the wrong type of girl. They always often get the alpha female because once they become of a status and their intelligence, their smartness, their wealth of knowledge attracts that woman in, but the social skills doesn't hold her. And unfortunately, alpha male often finds them because she's attracted to the intelligence, she's attracted to the platform and what you're offering, but doesn't necessarily stay with that person. Omega woman, also intelligent, smart, and the nerd, okay? Likes to complete things on her own, not bothered by what others think. You know, they are willing to show sensitivity, but only when they feel it in a safe space. They will not show that sensitivity outside of the comforts of a safe emotional space. You will learn a lot from that friend. She's knowledgeable. She's willing to give you information. The person who thinks about things in a more unique way. And, you know, also just like the Gamma female as well, she desires to have a fairy tale romance, but necessarily won't necessarily go after it. So the Omega woman, obviously, oftentimes you notice this woman, she's in need of a makeover. Okay, like if she got the makeover, something's gonna change. She's gonna look stunning, yeah. So she's often the ones that are unkept, you know, and you know, you just know that if you took the glasses off, give her some contacts, put some makeup on her face, done her head up a little bit, just change her dress sense a little bit, she'll click. So she's often that kind of girl. She doesn't really care about outer experience or outer appearance because that's not where she holds value in that particular place. Then we have the Delta man. The Delta man, he's a man that wants to be liked, but doesn't have the capacity to do so. They try to gain by associating with other popular men, yeah? So you know that guy that's always trailing behind someone who's cool and popular, wanting to beg them for association, right? Wanting to be attached to them, does everything to be in the crew, but really isn't really about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they want to be popular by association. They don't know how to do it themselves. Okay, they will worship. It said that obviously they will worship the woman that they're with in order to keep her, especially if she's of some type of status or notoriety. Whoa, of some type of notorious state. Oh my gosh, some notorious status. Okay, he will try to cling on to her because again, it's about clinging on to being associated to somebody who's more popular than them. They will often though properly in the end settle down with a modest type of woman as he knows he cannot attract a high caliber attractive woman. So he's got an elevated sense of thought of where he wants to be but can't be there. Okay, they try to get there by association but cannot complete. But they are ambitious and they do work hard, but they're very much unnoticed. And then you have your Delta woman, introverted, loves solitude, isn't really concerned by success. Okay, and can be, you know, unconfident at times. You know, they doesn't show too much confidence, but is a person that will take her time to get to know somebody, take her time to get to know her lover. But she's very much an introverted person, very much loves her solitude, loves to be alone, can be on her ones and her J's, got no problem with it, okay? Could have 10 cats. She's got no problem with that because she just loves to be on her own, does her own kind of thing. And so I think that's really important because once you get to Deltas oftentimes are Deltas, gammas, omegas normally fall at the bottom of the pack. Okay, and it's because of their introvertedness. And until you find a healthy balance between the introverted and extroverted, if you've got too much extroverted, you're the alpha. If you've got too much introverted, you end up being delta oftentimes, which is unseen. Yeah, the person that is normally left in the background. You don't hear about them, you don't see about them. And one of the things that's really interesting is that in school, you remember these things where you know that some people in a group setting, some people just you don't remember. You just don't remember. They don't even. They will tell you they were at the same school as you. Be like, were you? I do not remember you. Why? Because they were just non-existent. They were never here, never there. And this relates to what we're talking about: social, sexual hierarchy. That at a base level, okay, when we're talking about instinctive sexual attraction, the alpha male oftentimes is the leader. We're going to talk about one last one, sigma male. We're going to come on to that. The alpha male often takes the biscuit, yeah, and there is other guys in the hierarchy as we go further down. You got your betas, your gamma, you got your omega, you got your delta, and what happens is that those that especially omega and delta, they want to be this alpha. They see the alpha getting the chicks, and they want to be that person, but they can't. Why? Because the natural basic, the natural basic instinct of females is to go after alpha type males. Okay, natural instinct. The change happens when one injects himself with knowledge that, especially women, learn by experience of dating these bad boys and these men, that they're not that great, and so they change their perspective. Now, oftentimes that changed perspective goes to a beta male. So if you go into the manosphere, the beta male is often revered as they're trash. Beta males are simps. They are soft guys, blah, blah, blah. But actually, beta males often are ones who settle down with these women. Why? Because as a woman dates and has interactions with alphas especially, or those who are playing alphas, you want to call it, they often then will settle down with a beta. Right? And then obviously, if you look at your gamma, delta, and omega, they actually have their own pool. What do I mean by that? If you look for the alpha female, or you look for the beta female, you look for the sigma woman, what will happen is you're actually out of your pool because they are in the extroverted side of things. And yet, unless you come out of your introvertedness, it's going to be hard to attract these type of females. Right? And so this is where the thing is. It's like you want to have this thing, but there needs to be a change in the individuals. But again, these are movable boxes that people go into, and depending on your scenario as well, because people move from alpha to beta depending on what kind of environment they're in. You see it all the time, so it just depends. But the last one is a sigma male. You guys have heard me talk about this a lot, and I always say this about the sigma male is a lone wolf. They are the maverick. They are the independent nature. Your sigma male does not adhere to social structures. The sigma male is the type of guy that can flow in. If you know in school, there are some people who can hang around with cool people, hang around with the middle tier people, and hang around with the low people without it affecting their social standing or social ranking. Yeah, there are some people that can hang around with all types of people and nobody says anything bad about them. They don't cuss them, they don't kill them, nothing like that. Why? Simply because the nature they have is a lone wolf. They are mavericks, they're independent in nature, they do not conform. They do not care what the status quo is saying, they will go against it if they need to. Okay? They play by their own rules, but they can be manipulative. I can tell you this for sure, no. They understand how women work, just like alphas do. But the difference is that they will try to have one person that understands them and settle. Sigmas can also be players as well. But oftentimes what sigmas and alphas do not fight each other, because the sigma tries to do his own thing and the alpha does his own thing. The beta is trying to be the alpha, so the alpha looks down on the beta. The sigma is on the same level. Some people even quote the sigma even above the alpha, because the sigma is able to empathize and able to deal with emotions, whereas the alpha doesn't do emotions. When I say doesn't mean they don't have any, but the alpha tends to work on the basis of, I get what I need to get, I will use what I need to use, whereas the sigma is looking at the situation going, okay, cool, I want to play by a different set of rules. Whatever they offered me, I'm going to play it differently. There's always that guy that always wants to go against the rules. Like, he's always willing to do, and they're successful. So it's not like they do it and get caught. they're not often successful, right? Whenever rules are implemented, they're the ones that question and go, wait, why do we do that? What's the need for that? Right? And you'll see that they end up doing their own thing rather than doing what everyone else is doing, right? You know, your I call it your John Wick type of guys, yeah, that are just out there, lone wolf, don't need nobody. I'll fight everybody if I need to, bro. You know, your John Wick type of guys, yeah, Keanu Reeves. You know, they're never looking for approval. They work their own kind of, job and stuff. They're great communicators. Difficult to keep friends as they love their own company. I'm telling you this is all true, man. And they're not afraid to take risks. And women often are drawn to Sigmas because of their mystique. So that guy that you know he seems to be on his own, but he's not socially awkward. You know the one, because sometimes they don't confuse the two. Being socially awkward and being on your own is different from being a lone wolf. Lone wolves can eat. Lone wolves can hunt. Lone wolves are cool. So lone wolves are the guys that will do their own kind of thing. Yeah. And they often challenge the status quo out. And so, you will see that that women will end up being drawn to these kind of guys because they're wondering, what is it about this guy? Why does he not conform? What does he have? What does he know that makes him stay where he is? Right? Often it's the Sigma male is that guy that comes into a new school, and the bullies think they can take him on. Before they know it, slaps up. He's beating out everybody, yeah? And he goes back to being a lone wolf. Yeah? That's your Sigma male. Yeah? The guy that nobody wants to, that at first everyone thinks they're going to test him, beats up everybody, and then he's like, yeah, I'm going back to my same position. You know, your Punisher kind of hero character. You know, that kind of guy, John Wick kind of character. That is your Sigma male right there. Sigma women, they are strong and stubborn, and they don't need to hang around with everybody. They don't try to impress anybody, but she is competitive. Okay, similar to the alpha female, and she will count the victories. Okay, she will. If she wins, she gonna count it. She's gonna let you know. Okay, gets on with everybody, but isn't keen on many friendships. Yeah, them type of girls that are cool with everybody else, but they don't have many. Not many of them call them friends. Yeah, similar to the Sigma male as well. And is very choosy and wants the best of the best. So this is where she comes into play with the alphas, because what happens is, though she's competitive, she's not a direct competitor like the alpha. Remember, she wants to do things on her own way. And so oftentimes the Sigma woman can encounter the alpha male because she will try to choose the rich, the handsome, the super successful. And because her nature is to do things her own way, it doesn't always, and I say it doesn't always contradict or come to a head with an alpha male. So this is just a quick rundown. Look, if you find yourself if you hear something and it sounds like you, call in it. But I'm not saying it's a definitive. We're just kind of just giving something as a reason why sometimes when I'm looking at interactions, it falls into the sexual hierarchy, right? When you present, and like I said, depending on what scenario you're in, you can actually be a different type of sexual hierarchy because of the pool of people that are there. You know, money, power, status, all plays a role. Good looks plays a role in the environment you're in. You may be the baddest looking gal in your ends, or the baddest looking guy in your area, and get to another area and you realize you are not the best looking. You are falling short. And let me eat my sweets. Guys, I appreciate you. Stay loaded. I appreciate you guys. Hey, if you guys want to see such great content like this, please make sure you like, you share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. If you want to see more videos like this, because we're going to bring some real stuff to you guys in the following days and weeks. Don't forget as well, tune into our live tonight, guys. 7:30 on a Tuesday, we have a live. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. More love.